Good afternoon, welcome back. This is Saima. If you haven't met me before, in today's video I'm going to talk about nurses, specifically why the nurses in the UK are broke, okay, including myself. All right, so let's dive into the video. If you haven't watched my previous video, I made a detailed video about why a lot of people are leaving the UK. It applies same for the nurses as well, but I'll give you a few tips, and also that for the nurses some points are relatively related to the nurses only. First of all, the work-life balance. We as nurses, as you all know, the salary of the nurses is 15 to 1700, or for now let's say 17 to 2000 pound, okay, never reach 2000, but 16 to 17 or 1800 per month. That's the salary of the nurses, okay. But if you do loads of night shifts or extra duty, extra bank shifts, you are able to get extra money. But that's the normal NHS salary, 1700 pound per month, okay, 17 to 1800. Okay, that's your basic salary as a nurse. What a lot of nurses do, we work extra, okay, we work with the agencies. If we want to do with our own trust, that is called bank partners, okay. If you want to do extra job within your trust, and apart from your contracted hours, other than your contracted hours, that is called bank duties, that is called extra duties. With your contracted hours, you can also do overtime if time allows you, so you can do overtime. But if you want to work apart from your contracted hours or extra than your contracted hours, that's called bank duties or extra duties, so you can make more money with that, okay. So what we tend to do is, for example, my regular hours are 37.5 hours, which makes it 3 long days, 3 12-hour shift in a week, and 4 long day hours, 12 hours shift in the following week. So I will be having 4 days free in this week. So what I do is, I don't do bank, but I'm giving you an example, okay. So I'll book maybe 1 duty or 2 extra bank duties to earn something extra, right? So if I do 2 more days, it'll be like 6 days in a week I'm working, or 5 days in a week I'm working. So if in a week I have 3 duties, I'll do 2 bank shifts, so means I'll be working 5 days and 2 days off, right? With that, what happens is, if you having children, for me, I'm swapping the baby with my husband. So if I'm working, my husband is off, so he'll be taking care of the baby. If he's off, I'll be home taking care of the baby. All right, so we don't need to go for the nursery. I'm not I haven't registered for the nursery as of yet, but by the age of 3 he'll be going for the nursery. He's not yet 3, nearly 3, yeah. So we are swapping the baby. So if you are doing extra, your partner should be home that day to look after the child, to do the child care, right? So if he's not available, then you won't be able to do the shift, the extra shift that you booked or you want to book. So what you do is, you put the baby to the nursery or to the childminder and you go for the shift. So what happens then is, the money that you are getting by doing that shift, you will be paying for the nursery or the childminder, which is a lot. Childminders as well, they cost you like 10 pounds per hour or 8 to 9 pounds per hour. For the nursery, it applies the same. This amount of the money that you pay is the same, so it's a lot of money. So you'll be like, for example, I got 120 pounds and I'll be paying for the nursery or the childcare. So what's the point? Okay, if you're leaving your child to the nursery for 6 to 7 hours, you will be paying a lot of money. All right, so yeah, so we end up not going to do the bank. But still, if you have someone to look after the kids, if you have your family with you, if you have your relatives with you, they can look after the baby, then it's very good, you can do the shifts. But if you are alone with your partner, then it can be a bit hard. The other thing is also the taxes. If you get the money, if you get 37,000 per year, you will be paying 20% tax. If your salary goes above that point, you will be paying 40% tax. In that thing, if you think about it, because of this tax system as well, a lot of people, they stay home, they don't do extra shifts. I know a lot of my Indian friends, they don't do any bank because of the taxing system. They'll rather go to the agencies and do extra shifts with the agencies. Where what happens with the agencies, at least even if you have to pay tax 40%, you are still getting extra. Like if my hospital or my NHS trust is paying me 120 pounds for one shift, agency will pay me 250 pounds for a shift. So I rather go for agency, earn 250 and pay 40% tax, isn't it? So yeah, so a lot of people, they do outside and do the agency shifts rather than doing the extra shift in their own trust. Yeah, so same, still you will be doing extra shifts. If you are working 3 days, for 2 days or 3 days you'll be doing bank shift. So there is no work-life balance. Okay, work-life balance is very hard, very difficult. You feel like you're not maintaining, you're not able to manage, and sometimes you feel very down as well. Okay, because family time is very, very important, and it's, for a lot of people, I think for most of people, is the way of relaxation as well. Okay, so if you're not finding work-life balance, not able to relax yourself, not able to stay home and enjoy your life, I think it's a bit hard, because the stress, work-related stress here in the UK is too much. You need that time off. You need to spend the time with your family, okay? You need to go out. You need to go to the gym. You need to do exercise, okay? Otherwise, you'll feel like you are very, very down, okay? Your joints are hurting, your body is hurting, your mind is stressed out. So work-life balance is very important. The life in the UK, the work-related stress is too much. A lot of people, a lot of nurses, they go in the burnout stage because of the work-related stress. So yeah, having the day off is very important, and work-life balance is very important. So nurses in the UK are broke because of the reasons. They feel like they are overworked, underpaid, and when they are at work, they can't think of anything else because of the patient and the nurse ratio. For one nurse, you will be getting like 8 to 10 patients in the medical wards or in the cardiac wards or gastro wards, okay? So 1 to 8 patients is too much. According to NHS England, you can have not more than 8 patients per nurse. But sometimes what happens, if you're short staff, you're having sickness or any other problems in the ward, you'll be getting 8 to 12 patients or 10 patients or 9 patients, okay? 12 patients, it's not uncommon, all right? Even in ED recently, a lot of people, a lot of nurses, they've been complaining that they're having sometimes 15 patients. Can you imagine for a nurse? So if in ED, emergency department, a nurse is having 15 patients, how is she going to manage the emergencies? I mean, emergency, anything can happen at any time, okay? So yeah, work-related stress is a big thing. If you are struggling with your mental health, nursing is hard, okay? So yeah, so my point was, why nurses are broke? Because if they go to work, they get the stress, they overwork, they're underpaid. I think the basic problem is the salaries and the tax. Their salaries are very, very less, and the tax system is very high. So, and if the patient nurse ratio is good, I think you are still able to work nicely. Even when you are at work, you have 12 patients, you're not able to do your documentation, you're not able to do the medicines even properly. And if you make a mistake, you're putting your NMC pin at risk. If you made a mistake in the medication, you made a medication error, your NMC pin is at risk. You may lose your pin. The other point is also that you cannot refuse to take the patients. You cannot refuse that I am not going to take care of 12 patients. You cannot refuse, okay? If you are being moved to the other ward, for example, me, I'm a medical ward nurse. If I'm being asked to go to ED, I cannot refuse. I'm a nurse, so I can work anywhere else. I don't need to think about my comfort zone. I don't need to think about my competencies. I don't need to think about my comfort level, how comfortable, how confident I will be working in ED. I just have to move. Yes. So there are loads of things that in the UK that for nurses, very restricted job. And they have a whole lot of responsibilities. Responsibilities are a lot. And I think if you have less patients, for example, 5 or 6 patients, you'll be able to work very nicely without any stress or tension. Even with the less pay, you'll be able to manage, okay? If you have that peace of mind that if I've done something, if I have done a job for a patient, and if I have the time to write it down, and you have that peace in your mind, I think you will be able to survive. For nurses, if we don't document, it means it's never happened, all right? So documentation is very important. And if you're not getting the time, if you have 12 patients, how are you managing it? So that's why a lot of people, they rather not go for the extra shift to avoid stress, to avoid extra headache, and to avoid errors, okay? Because if the hospital is very busy, they're carrying the patients in the corridors or on the chairs, on the trolleys. Obviously, the hospital is very busy and you'll be getting extra patients. So that's why a lot of people, they don't do extra bank shifts. They go somewhere else. They go in the agencies or where they at least they'll get extra money. All right. So NMC pin is at risk all the time, wherever you go, whether you go in the agency or care home or wherever. Okay. So I'm just telling you the reality, all right? Reality of the UK at the moment. The situation is like that. Wherever you work, I was speaking to one of my friends. She works in Cambridge, which is a very posh area, very expensive, okay? And then all the people, the royals and everybody, they live there. Even there, the nurse's life is the same. Even in London, it's the same everywhere. So you cannot predict how your day as a nurse will be, all right? And yeah, that's the reason the nurses are broke. And also because of the stress and tension and too much problems at work, you feel like you don't have time to do anything extra. I started this YouTube channel before coming here in the UK, but I never get the time to make the videos. I know you'll be saying that, oh, you have 3 extra days in your week, you work only 3 days a week, so you have 4 days. I have kids, I have a baby, I have my husband to feed, I have my son to feed, I have house to look after, I need time to look after myself as well. And yeah, if you are someone who is very organized, even on your day off, you sit down, write it down. At 9 o'clock I'll do this, at 10 o'clock I'll do this, and 1 o'clock I'll make lunch, I'll keep the baby ready. My life is unpredictable, okay? So anytime I can do anything. I'm not someone who is very organized even on the off days. At work, I'm organized, I make my to-do list, I do my things accordingly, but when I'm home, I want to relax, okay? I want to keep the time aside, all right? So yeah, so if you want to, again, if you want to achieve something, you want to keep your comfort zone aside, isn't it? So if I want to make the videos, I can, all right? But when I'm off, I want to relax, all right? So in my extra time only, I make the YouTube videos. So I wanted to say is, for nurses, if you are someone who's very organized, in your days off, you are able to do, you can do the side hustle, which will help you combating all the cost of living here in the UK. A lot of people, they do YouTube. A lot of people do other kind of side hustles. Some people, they make food, deliver to their friends or relatives or any other colleagues to help them, and then they'll pay them. And also some people, they sail online, some people they do taxi driving, so a lot of other things that you can do to help you save some money. Okay, so because the nurses in the UK are broke, that's why they are leaving to the other countries who offer them better job opportunities, better salary, better environment, less stress, anxiety, and the fear of losing their NMC pin. So a lot of people, they're going to the USA, Canada or Germany, New Zealand, Australia, a lot of people going to. So yeah, it's totally depends on you how you want to do it, but nurses life in the UK is not easy. All right, and on top of that, the care level of the patient is like 5-star, right? 5-star, what I mean, 5-star hotel means you'll be washing the patients, you'll be giving them personal care. It's the basic care, I know, but it takes time. So if you have 12 patients, how you are able to do it? Okay, so you're doing bed baths to the patient, to each patient every morning. We wash them, we give them personal care, oral hygiene, hair care, wash them all through the body, and also like if they need any help with the mobility, if they're not able to walk, you need to make them sit on the chair. Okay, if you need 2 people, you'll be asking your colleague to come and help me, please, I need to sit this patient out. Okay, you'll be asking everybody to come out, sit out of the bed. If they are hoist transfer means we use a device called hoist, and 2 people need to hoist that patient out from the bed. They cannot do anything by themselves, the patient cannot do anything by themselves, then you need to hoist them. So it takes time as well. Okay, and some people, they need help in eating as well. All right, so if they can't feed themselves, you need to feed them. So that's only your morning routine. And on top of that, as a nurse, you will be helping them with the medication round as well. And then, believe me or not, a lot of patients in medical wards, they have like 6 to 10 medication each patient. Only few patients you will find who will have less tablets to give in the morning. So the patients who are alert and oriented, they can take maybe their medicines by themselves. But if you are working in general medicine, older patients ward, you will be giving them medications, because you'll be having patients with dementia, Alzheimer's, confused patients, or who are not able to take their medications by themselves. You'll be giving them. Okay, so medication round for 12 patients, it takes time. So you have 12 patients or 10 patients and your healthcare support worker with you, 2 people for 12 patients, and then there'll be healthcare support workers, they do the washes, and if they need the patient needs help of 2 people, then you and the support worker will help that patient wash. Okay, so it's time consuming. You will not find any time to do anything extra. All right, so think about it, guys, how you want to do it. This video was just to show you the reality of the NHS nurses and how we do the things and how it's affecting the mental health of the nurses. That's why a lot of nurses, they stay broke, and because the stress, anxiety, mental health is important than anything else. All right, I'll see you soon in the next one. Till then, take care. Bye bye.